What a weekend, people, without Arsenal playing. But we had an absolutely fantastic weekend. Welcome to Never Foul. I'm your boy Mo, and this is Ty with me. We're going to walk you through the games this weekend, talk a little bit about the game coming, Arsenal, Chelsea, and if Arsenal still had a chance of winning the league. Man City away at Fulham, people thought they're going to draw or lose points or something, but they didn't. Man United winning. I made a mistake, of course, in the overlay. I'm going to fix it now. I see that they won against Brighton. No, they won against Aston Villa. I'm going to fix it now. But people, thank you so much for joining. Make sure to hit that like button for us. How are you doing, Ty? How's everything with you?
Good. I'm tired. I went to the game yesterday, the Man United Aston Villa game, so I got back quite late yesterday. But we won. We got the 3 points. Job done. Just what we needed. And then you walk out the ground and you see that Newcastle have won as well. Callum Wilson, coming on doing the business. You see Man City have gone top. You see Napoli have winning it at home. They could have won on the weekend and they conceded in the last 5 minutes. But yeah, man, it's good that the Premier League's back. It's getting right into the gritty games now. Like we've got football tonight, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The games don't stop coming, man. So keep liking and subscribing. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to talking about the weekends. Because we've got to change that Brighton score because 6-0 was crazy.
Yeah. We'll see how it is. I'm gonna fix it now. It's almost done. But people, thank you so much for joining us. We can see the table. Man City are top. Congratulations to the Man City people. You guys made it. Finally made it to the top. It was expected, it was predicted, but it's only one place to start, Ty, here. And we'll talk about Liverpool against Spurs. I'm gonna start right away. What a job by Spurs. You build a big, massive building, and then you climb all the way to the top, but then you forgot to cement the what is it called? The bottom. What is it called? The base, the basement.
Yeah, the base.
And then it all collapses in just 10 seconds. What an absolutely atrocious job they did. Lucas Moura.
You just come on.
Oh my God, this is absolutely ridiculous, to be honest. But the game itself, I know we want to talk about the game itself and how Liverpool started on top. What did you think about how Liverpool started? Is it tactically that Spurs are like shambles in the beginning, or is it mentally? Who's at fault here?
I think this is just a Liverpool thing at Anfield. I think when Liverpool play at home at Anfield, they always come out quite fast, if I'm totally honest. I always think you've just got to get through that first sort of 15, 20-minute spell. And then Liverpool will always give you moments to then get back into the game. But when you look at this Spurs team, we were 2-0 up against them. They come back and drew 2-2. That shouldn't have happened. The week before that, Spurs are conceding against 5 against Newcastle in 20 minutes. This is just a Spurs team that are not good. I'll be honest with you. They're just not good, Mo. You look at their team, Harry Kane's still over 25 Premier League goals. I don't know how when he's playing around them type of players, but it just is a testament to how good he is. But this first team are done, man. And Liverpool are not even that good. You know what the funniest thing is? Liverpool are not even that good, but they were 3-0 up. And then they allowed Spurs to get back into the game. They allow a Spurs team that have come back against us 2-0. That should have been a lesson that, right, okay, the game's not done yet because they still come back against us, kill it off even more. But they let Spurs come back into the game. And then they score, obviously, in the 95th minute when Lucas Moura does a horrible back pass, which, that sums up his time in the club in the last year. I just think it's one of them times where Spurs need a complete change, man. Like, they just need a manager that's going to come in with a proper direction, a manager that's going to bring in the right type of players that's going to get fans excited, and you think they're going to give 100%. Because right now, Spurs are just going to continue to be Spurs. There's just nothing for them. Like, they'll have moments, Mo, where they'll beat a big team and, you get a bit excited, or Harry Kane scores these amount of goals, or they might go a bit far in a competition, but they never end up winning anything. They never end up really doing anything. They're just there. They're just taking part. They're just like a good music artist. It will never be the best, but, you'll drop a good few songs here and there, and then that's it. You go off the radar for a bit. Then you come back with a good few songs, but they're just not good enough, Mo, man. They're just not good enough.
So for me, I'm looking at this Spurs team and I'm thinking the problem wasn't Conte, the problem wasn't Jose, the problem wasn't Nuno Espirito Santo, it wasn't Pochettino. The problem is the mentality of the whole club, to be honest. When a player, and I keep saying this, and people if I know a lot of people play football, and if you play football, if your teammate, if your manager, and it comes from the owner, they don't care about winning, and they only care about participating, that's the product you're gonna get. It's, yes, you fight back when you're losing because you take it on yourself, it's on your pride personally. But when you start a game, it looks like Spurs didn't care. The likes of Eric Dyer, Davis, even Harry Kane himself, they don't care as much. They
Mm,
don't care about, I need to win every game. They don't care. And I agree with Beyond Belief here, saying Levy is the problem. It's not only about Levy.
mm,
Levy is not the owner himself. There is other people around him. It's about mentality inside the club. And I kept saying this over and over. And it felt from the first minute that Spurs players are there to participate. They don't play the game, they don't play the occasion, they are there to participate. And then when they go down, they start they start to play for their pride. Harry Kane Son wants to score a goal. But in the beginning of the game, Ryan Mason could put the best tactics in the world. But it's not gonna work unless the players commit to the cause of, like, I want to win the game.
mm,
Tactics out of the way, time. Positions out of the way. It doesn't matter. If you don't play to win a game, you are never gonna win.
mm-hmm.
Especially because you're not superior. The likes of Eric Dyer, Davis, Hoiberg, Oliver Skip, they're not superior to Konati, to Van Dijk, to Salah, to Luis Diaz. So they have to put extra effort. Like Aston Villa against Man United. I'm just going to give that example. It looks like Aston Villa from the first minute, they believe that they can win the game. So they played, man, like, you know what I mean? Like they were
High line, they tried pressing, they tried, yeah.
you know what I mean? Everybody's
Mm,
to the tackle, to the passing, but Spurs are not. They're lazy. They don't care. They want this season to be done. Nobody
yep.
knows if they're gonna be at the club or not the next year. They don't know who's gonna be the manager, so they're playing for nothing. It's a
Mm,
check coming every week, and that's it. But tactically, this game, Spurs played behind Trent most of the game with Perisic. They created chances.
mm.
The first 20, 30 minutes, they created chances. And Virgil van Dijk is not going to be able to do it on his own. He was terrible yesterday.
Yeah, I keep seeing that Perisic clip going around.
It's not only about that tackle.
Mm.
It's not only about him. It's all the overall game type. What happened to this guy? Positioning wise, he's not great. Tackling
No.
wise, he's afraid to tackle now.
Yeah, he used to, for me, like with Virgil van Dijk, his main thing obviously was that natural like presence and the aura he had. I remember like there's even players like Adama Traore who's super fast and they would get the ball and there'd be 1v1 with him, but they wouldn't even want to take him on or run past him. And I feel like that side of Van Dijk's game is gone now. And now he's actually having to defend. I'm not saying he didn't have to defend before. I'm not saying, nothing's wrong with Van Dijk in terms of what he's done before in the prior seasons. He's been a top defender. He was one of the best, 3 years ago, you could say he was the best
Just
centre back
last
in the world.
year. Just last
Yeah,
year. Guys.
yeah.
Just,
I
agree
know,
with
yeah.
you. People
No. I
forget this.
agree with you. I
This
agree
is
with you.
absolutely a fantastic comment.
No, I agree with you. He was good last season, but people don't realize that sometimes, obviously, when you come back from them injuries, you won't ever be the same player really when you're in the 30, 31 bracket. But I just feel like Van Dijk this year, the way Liverpool have played, we've not really seen Liverpool in terms of the team, right, stretched this much, conceding as many chances as they've had compared to the last few years. So I feel like, of course, they naturally need to defend more. And Van Dijk at this time of his career, making that change to being the player that's made him what he is in terms of, his aura, the engagement, his recovery pace, or, giving people 3 yards and then they never want to take him on. He's never really had to engage so much in a lot of tackles or 1v1 duels because he put people off. And now, as he's getting older, naturally, he's had that injury. Teams are getting more chances against Liverpool, and now they're attacking, Van Dijk more. And this is not just Van Dijk. We're looking at Trent as well. No one really spoke about Trent defensively until the last couple of years because Liverpool are now, getting more pressed in terms of like balls over the top on that side, and he's having to, go into more defensive duels. Robertson, like he goes under the radar. Robertson is definitely not the same player as what I saw 3 years ago. Like he kind of goes under the radar because he plays with a lot of passion, a lot of energy. He's always bombing up and down the wing. But when you actually look at Robertson, he's not been up to, his level this season, but I just think it goes under the radar because obviously it's easier to look at Trent and look at Van Dijk because they are sort of the guys that have been in the limelight more. But yeah, Robertson has not been great again this season. So when you actually look at it, Konate's really been the main defender that's actually, you could say, stood up, and he's going into the summer saying, I made myself, and now I announced myself to Klopp that I can be one of your starters. But when you look at Trent, obviously he has his up and down moments. Van Dijk's not had a great season, and nor has Robertson. So really, Konate and Alisson are the main two for me if I had to rank them that have had the better seasons. But Konate's fitness is obviously a worry. So when you look at it, Liverpool really need to go into next season, with the defense back on point again. And I actually think they should look at maybe signing a defender, because I think Gomez should go. I don't know if Matip will want to stay around. They've got the right back they signed from Rangers, I think it was, or Aberdeen. And he's not played because he's been basically out all season. And then Tsimikas is obviously the left back. But I think they need centre backs as well. I think they could get another top centre back in and compete with Van Dijk and help Konate out. So it's just interesting.
Problem, yesterday, Konate has mistakes in him in every game now, which is scary. I see Jordan is saying that his downfall started last season, yes, but it was still okay. Yes, the signs were there and everything, but he was, like, I remember in the Champions League, he was great. Most of the games in the league, he was good. Yes, some games here and there, but Van Dijk was good. To be honest, Konate is the one that is worrying me. I'm not worried about Van Dijk for one reason, because Van Dijk will be replaced. He will have to be replaced at some point because of the ACL. But they're relying so much on Konate, but I see Konate as a great defender, but has a mistake in him. And until he shows consistency, you cannot have this guy as your main centre back.
He gives you a bit of like Kurt Zuma, like when Kurt Zuma was coming up, like he's very strong, they're dominant in the air, but you always feel like they've got a moment in them. But I just feel like with Konate, he can definitely, for me, Mo, be a Liverpool centre back for the next 5 years, 6 years. I do think he's got he's got the talent to go into a top elite European centre back. It's just about who you pair him with, because when you pair him with a Van Dijk is very calm. When you actually think about it as a player, Van Dijk does everything sort of in his own gear. He's very measured, composed. He doesn't make a lot of errors. Now, you need someone alongside Konate that's going to complement him and allow him to, just be him. Because if you had someone with the same profile of Konate, it wouldn't work, because you'd always be a bit nervous that, like, if Zuma and Konate play together, you'd always be a bit like, oh, I don't know, because they're profiles. But if you can get the right partner for Konate, he's calmer on the ball, he's more there to read the game and stuff like that, I think you'll see Konate again go to another level. But it's just about who can Liverpool bring in as a left centre back who's that perfect sort of partner for him. Do you know what I mean?
Mitchell is saying we're very harsh. Jordan is saying Gvardiol would fit. I actually disagree with it. I'm not being harsh on Konate. We're just saying Konate is a little bit rash. He's a little bit raw defender. He needs more of a leader next to him. The likes of Van Dijk a year ago, the likes of Thiago Silva. Maybe Thiago Silva's too old. Somebody that can lead that defense. I don't know who in the world right now that can do this, but maybe they need a scouting. But I don't think they're going to sign a top centre back. Liverpool. I don't think so.
You think everything's going for the midfield?
It's going for the midfield, yes. They might sign like a left back or right back or something, but I think this is where it's going. Spurs, though, let's talk about Spurs a little bit. And
Harry Kane. This is like, is this just giving everything to say, do you know what? Your time's up. He's got 1 year left on his deal. So I've been thinking about it. It's either going to be right. He's not signing a new deal at Spurs. I know he's not going to do that. I just don't believe there's any reason why he should sign. So just be realistic right now. If there's any Spurs fans watching, he shouldn't really sign a new deal. Let's be real. So it's either he leaves in the summer for 80 to 100 million pounds, or Levy lets his prized asset, or his best player, should I say, stay for another year and lets him go on a free and says, right, Kane, I'd rather you not go to a rival like Man United, but I will let you stay, obviously, next season, see out your contract, and you can go for free and discuss what you want. There's a big decision to be made here, because the more I'm looking at Kane and the more I'm looking at Spurs, every week he's probably trying to find a reason, because he's obviously got a baby due in that, Mo, and his family might be settled. You maybe, because you love a club so much, when you try and find a reason to stay, you're like, oh, well, we've got a good result this week, or I can see something developing, so this might make me want to stay. Spurs are showing him nothing to why he wants to stay. Every week, I just feel like Kane's probably thinking, I want to go. And then the week after, I want to go even more now. They've got a big decision to make. I can't see him signing a new deal at all. It's either he leaves this season or he goes on a free next season. That is it for me.
100%. For me, Spurs are a very strange club. I would reckon they would drop from the top six next year at all completely. They won't be in the equation unless they get sold or a big investment or because I'm not sure Pochettino what would he do with this squad if Harry
Mm,
Kane leaves. That's my question is if Harry Kane leaves, who is the you know what I mean? The poster of the club. Who is the guy that is always on the picture? I'm gonna get to your question, Bailey, in a bit.
mm.
In a bit, but guys, I want to get to 100 likes, so please hit that like button for me if you haven't. It will help us massively. It's underneath your live chat, so please go and hit that like button. It looks like a thumbs up, so please do that for me. It will help us massively, massively. So please do that for me. Uh, about yeah, I don't know. Like Harry Kane is gonna leave. I reckon he's gonna go to Man United.
Mm.
I reckon he's gonna go to Man United. There is no. I don't think there is a future for him at Spurs, as you said. And they want to cash in on him 70, 80 million. That's a lot of money for them. They can invest and they can revamp the squad a little bit. And I think this is where they're gonna go. Uh Richarlison, I don't think he is your guy to be
No,
your number nine. You'll need to get another guy. Uh, thank you, Saeed, for being here, of
big up, Said.
course. Thank you, Saeed. Big up, Saeed.
Big up, my bro.
And for this question, facing Jurgen Klopp should face a ban, as Marco Silva did in the. Did he get banned, Marco Silva, or he got
I can't
fined?
remember if he ended up getting banned.
I actually think he didn't get banned, Marco Silva. He got fined only. So, but Jurgen Klopp said something about the red card. Forget the ban. Forget him facing the referee. Forget him squaring to the fourth official. For him to come out and talk about the red card not being a red card, and I want to address this situation. That red card is a disgrace. That Jota red card. He should not be on the pitch. He should get a 3 games at least. The violent conduct, and he should not be on the pitch. And in an era of VAR, this card not to be given is a disgrace. I don't
Do
know
you
if
think
you
it? Do
saw
you
it or
think it?
not.
Do you think it gets to a point where because this is going to be contentious, even though they have not given it a red card, do you think there should be certain instances or cases, should we say, in football, where it can be overturned after a game, or do you think no? Once the
That
decision's made.
so the answer is that happens, but it doesn't happen in these situations. It happens when the referee doesn't catch it and it doesn't get caught on the camera or something like this and someone. But for this one, it's a free kick, it's a foul, and they saw it on the VAR and they decided we're not gonna re-ref the game after. But
Mm,
this one, they decided it's not worthy of a record, which is a disgrace. But they cannot just go after and say, no, you're all were wrong and we're going to just ban this person.
yeah.
No. If you hit somebody behind the camera and they miss it completely and it surfaces after the game, yes, they ban the person. That Samuel Eto'o happened. It happened to him before I enter. I think it happened 3 years ago in the Premier League. Someone punched someone behind the.
Mm.
But it cannot happen in a free kick like this when they looked at it already. They
I
decided.
just why I don't get Mo though, because the fact that they looked at it and they've not given it a red. When you talk about it, right? States. So I know. But by the way, there's two separate things. Jota's not a malicious player. I don't think Jota is one of them players that does a lot of dangerous challenges and
Yes.
stuff like that. However, so that's him as a player. However, in that moment and case by case scenario, it was reckless. It was dangerous. It was a high boot. It made contact. Like if I actually was sat here now with someone from the VAR, I'd be like, okay, you tell me why it's not a red. I don't know what reason they could give me that it's not a red apart from he didn't mean it. Well, I know he didn't mean it, but no one means a tackle when they do it two-footed. No one means, to land on catches someone's ankle and twist it and then they go VAR and give a red card. So no one means it. So that's the only excuse they can give me. This is why I don't get it. When we look at football and you can say, okay, maybe because of this, or last week this one weren't given because of this. No, it's a high foot. He's hit his head. He's made contact. Why is it not a red?
And people are saying it's a dangerous play. It's not a dangerous play, people.
That's
This
why I
is
said, Ed,
beyond
you can be
dangerous play.
reckless without having
This is
malice.
beyond
That's exactly
dangerous
what I mean.
play. This is
Yeah.
beyond dangerous play. There is no explanation for it. They're just incompetent referees, and and I'm gonna say it. It was because it was Anfield. It's as simple as that. If people don't want to admit that, there is certain stadiums in the world that they get the effect of the noise of the fans is too much for the referees. And I think that's the reason. There
Well,
was
so you think
no
Anfield
reason.
played a part then?
100%. 100%. And it shouldn't have, but 100%. So let me talk about the skip tackle on Diaz.
Yeah, I didn't
I
see this. I'll let you
I
talk.
played football, and I'm gonna tell you, if you go with studs showing and you go for the ankle or something, this should not be a red. This happens a lot of times in the game. If you tackle and your studs are showing, if you're on the ground, you should get. Van Dijk did it to Onana in the game against Everton, and it wasn't a red. I like a physical game. Yes, if it's higher than the ankle, I would agree. If it's the shin, because you can break someone's shin, right, by doing this. But an ankle going like this, I don't think it was a red, in my opinion. This is my opinion.
Okay.
And I have the same energy for everybody. Van Dijk on Onana, the first game, I didn't think it was a red at all. Because when you go, you try to kick a ball and you miss and hit an ankle, you just miss. The other guy was faster to you. But again, you guys saying it was over the ball, just watch it again. He completely missed the ball and caught the ankle. If it's above the ankle, you can break the shin. This is what I do. You see, I have the same energy for everything because I played football and I know that if we start giving red cards for everyone that misses the ball and catches someone's ankle, every game is going to be a red card. That happens probably every game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There is a difference when you go to the ground and you tackle and your studs are showing high and you catch somebody, but you're going trying to kick the ball and you completely miss it, and the guy's faster than you and you catch their ankle. That's not as high. And I watched the Casemiro tackle one again. I'm gonna say that being on your feet, standing, is different than going with a tackle. Casemiro was tackling, so it's a 50-50. That's my opinion. That maybe they're gonna think it's red, but I
So
promise
are you saying that it would be a Jota red and a yellow for skip? Is that based off what you're saying?
100% a yellow for skip and a
Okay.
Jota red. 100%. This is my
Okay.
opinion. There is a massive difference. There is a consistency is key. If Casemiro is given a red, then should be Van Dijk. Guys, let's differentiate between a tackle when you go to the ground because there's force in it, and when you're standing and trying to kick a ball. Do you agree with this?
Yeah.
These are two different situations. If you try to kick a ball and you catch somebody's ankle, it's different than when you're tackling, going full force, and you catch someone's foot or ankle. That's completely different.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm not here to talk about the skip thing because the skip one happens every game probably. The Jota one should have been a red. If Jack Napier's dad is saying both should be if both red, both yellows, one hit a face and one hit ankle, and you're comparing both.
One was up here as well. Like, do you know what I mean? It's
come
way
on,
up there.
guys.
Is that Spurs' top 4 hopes done
Yeah,
when you look at it now?
I think
look, what?
it's a
How
good
are they?
segue.
They're 11 points off in the space of 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago, this was not the case. They've absolutely capitulated. You now got Liverpool above them anyway, with a game in hand on them, if that's correct.
Yeah, 100%. That's not happening.
Yeah, it's done. It's done for Tottenham. Like, they're at risk of actually not finishing in Europe. That should be the conversation.
I actually think they're gonna finish 8th, which is good for them. Yeah, 8th, and they're not.
Why? Because you think if a new manager comes in, it's better for them not to have European football.
Yes, he needs to listen. If this was a squad tie that wants some stuff here and there, like a 2-3 players integrated, I would say, yeah, get Europa League, get Conference League. But this is a squad that needs complete work in the summer, needs to be new. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're going to keep Eric Dyer, even if you're going to keep Perisic, even if you're going to keep Pedro Porro and whoever, Højbjerg, Skip, you'll need a new blood. You need a new way of playing. You don't want to have to worry about Thursday football.
Yeah.
You just want to worry about the Premier League, like Chelsea did in 2016-17. I think, like Arsenal. Look at Arsenal. Arsenal last year, they were almost getting top 4 because they have no European football.
And Arteta was able to sort of get a better system in place. The players understood what was needed, and then when they went into Europe this year, look at them. Obviously, I know they've not won it, but look at their Premier League form. You know, they've had a year working on things properly, and they've come strong this year. So yeah, you know, you're right. It might benefit Spurs not to be in Europe, and also
it's all gonna come down to the Spurs versus Aston Villa. To be honest, who's gonna finish top? Who's gonna finish above the other? That's it. Do you reckon this game is gonna? No. Who's going to finish ahead of each other, ahead of the other? Brighton, they
Ah,
have 3 games in hand, bro. Brighton are 2 points
mm,
behind them, and they have 3 games in hand. But Brighton play tough games. They play Man City, they play Man United. I think they play Newcastle. It's a tough run for
they've got
Brighton.
Arsenal away.
Yeah, so it's Brighton. But again, I'll trust Brighton, to be honest, to finish above them. But I want to move on from
Mm,
them, and I want to go to Man United because you're 56. You have like what? 63 points. What are you like 8 points ahead of Liverpool with a game in hand?
7. Yeah.
7 points ahead of Liverpool with a game in hand. How did you see the game yesterday? You were in the stadium.
Yeah, it was good. Do you know what? I'm gonna give credit to the Aston Villa fans. They made a lot of noise yesterday. They were one of the best fans I've seen actually for an away game. So yeah, credit to them. But it was a good 1-0. At this time of the season, I just want to win games. That's all I care about, to be honest. Because now we've got an FA Cup final we need to focus on that's coming up in June. But yeah, I was there yesterday, and I think we should have been 3-0 up by half time. Rashford had a chance. Sabitzer, Casemiro hit the bar. It was just there was Sancho. Had little moments, but he was the only one I'd probably say from the first half for me that was not that great. Like you could feel the fans around me, Mo. They're now starting to get restless. Every time he takes on someone, he never really runs at them, and people are moaning. He never goes in for tackles and 50-50s. His confidence is really low, and you can see it a lot when you're at the stadium. But I think other than that, the first half was good from everyone all round. We dominated and kept them in their own half, apart from one counter attack they had. And Victor Lindelof as well. I actually gave him my man in the match because I think when he doesn't play with Harry Maguire, he's able to focus on his game. And right now, at the moment, his performance against Brighton in the FA Cup was very good. And then in regards to yesterday against Ollie Watkins, who's the most informed forward in the league at the moment, he was very good again. And I just feel like he can focus on his game better when he's not with Maguire. So I actually said to Flex when I was on the United view after that, based on what I've seen, he could definitely be in the squad next season. I'm not saying he's the starter, but if we're competing for 4 trophies next year and you need squad depth, I think Victor Lindelof can definitely stay and Maguire can definitely leave because Lindelof can actually play football. Like, just put it out there. So,
No,
yeah,
I'm just
credit to him
laughing.
and
I'm
Luke.
I'm laughing at this. Ed comes out with the most,
Do you know
what
what?
is it
Flex,
called?
no, Mo, listen to this. I want to see what you think. So it's funny you say this, Ed, because when I was with Flex after the game, Flex actually said that he prefers Luke Shaw at left centre back over Martinez. And, some people around were not saying, like, oh my God, that's wild. Because the drop off, like, I love Martinez. Don't get me wrong. His passing through the lines is great. And I actually prefer Martinez as left centre back. However, the drop off when you take out Martinez and put in Luke Shaw is not that big. Whereas, for example, if you take out Eriksen and then you put in Fred into our midfield, the drop off is, so different when it comes to the technical ability and the ball controlling the game ability. So, yeah, I do really like Martinez, and don't get me wrong, but the drop off, Mo, when you actually put Luke Shaw in, is not that much of a difference. Luke Shaw is a good centre back, but yeah, Flex said he preferred, Shaw over Martinez at left centre back yesterday.
No, not at all. I prefer Luke Shaw as a left. I think Luke Shaw is a very good left back. Actually, I actually think that he's so underrated.
Mm,
Didn't like him before, but I didn't like Wan-Bissaka before. I thought Wan-Bissaka is not good. I thought Rashford's career took a dip and it's not coming back. And it's not only
mm.
me. A lot of Man United fans wanted Rashford sold. If you remember the PSG links with the
Yeah,
80, 90 million, a lot of Man United fans say, yeah, if we get 90 million for Rashford, just sell him.
yeah, I remember. I fully remember.
However, that can tell you that a manager can turn somebody's career. And he did.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
Eric Ten Hag turned Rashford's career, turned Luke Shaw's career, turns Wan-Bissaka's career, I think Man
Mhm.
United now, they have an okay squad. But people don't realize that Man United defense is not as bad. It's only Newcastle and Man City, they have better defenses than you. Arsenal are 1 goal behind you. And you
Yeah,
remember, you lost 7 to Liverpool.
yeah.
So if
6-3 to City, yeah, 4-0
so if
Brighton.
you remove one game, so overall Martinez has been good. And remember, guys, and people that don't watch Man United, I know that not a lot of people watch Man. I watch most of the games in the
Mm,
Premier League.
mm, mm.
Martinez did not have a fixed partner, people. It was sometimes Lindelof, it was sometimes Varane,
Yeah.
and it kept changing. Martinez was the only consistent one in Man United defense. I
Mm-hmm.
was wrong about Martinez. I thought that he's short. he cannot be a centre back in the Premier League. But it looked like they found a way. Erik ten Hag found, and his coaching staff found a way to not isolate him in the air, to
Yep.
have for him to read the game early. And this is brilliant from them. I think Martinez was good this year. I think he is, in the future, he should be one of the two guys, him and Varane. I actually think Lindelof is underrated.
You
That's
think
not really
Lindelof's underrated?
hmm?
You think Lindelof
I
underrated?
think
Yeah,
Lindelof
he's
was
been really
always
good.
underrated
Mo,
because
he's
I'm
been
watching
really,
him with
honestly, Mo.
Sweden.
Mo,
Every
he's
time
been really good.
I watch him with Sweden, and he's not that bad. Guys, you have to remember that sometimes when you play next to a centre back that you don't trust, you're
Mm.
absolutely shit.
Yep.
You're absolutely
Yep.
shit.
Thank you. I've
Uh,
been, I've been trying to say this. I've been trying to say this to people as well. Like when you play alongside someone, sometimes it's so hard because you're focusing on Maguire's mistakes and trying to make sure he's okay, whereas you can't really focus on your game. This is elite level. You want to go into a football match where you can just focus on your game only. And Lindelof and Shaw, they enable each other to do that because they trust each other's ability to say, right, we're gonna get the best out of each other, and that's what they did. I really like what we're doing, like you said, in terms of our defense. Like, I think that's the strongest part of our actual team, if I'm honest. When you actually look about it, Malacia, Shaw, you've got Martinez, Shaw, then you've got Varane and Lindelof, and then you've got Dalot and Wan-Bissaka. When you think that's two actually competent enough players in the defensive part, it's just about sorting out the midfield and the attack, which I think we will in the summer. But yeah, of course, I was happy with yesterday. Like, De Gea didn't have to make one save. You only have to make one save from Alex Moreno in the first half. So really, when you think about it, it was a good 1-0 win. Like, the score could have been 3 or 4-0. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was a good performance. And Casemiro as well. I'm gonna have to say that he's not been the best since he's come back from that suspension. I'll be honest with you, he's been a bit leggy. He's just looked a bit slow. But if you've watched Casemiro's guys as well, like, he
oh,
takes a bit of time to get into his rhythm, if I'm totally honest with you. He needs that rhythm. And yesterday was the best performance I've seen from him, Mo, since he's come back from that suspension. And I hope it now can continue because we've got a big final, obviously, next month. But I need him to stay fit. I need him to stay ready because I am critical sometimes. Like, Casemiro's been great this season, but since his suspension and his return, he has been a bit slow. And I thought yesterday was his biggest improvement so far.
yeah, Daniel is correcting me and saying that Chelsea only conceded 35 goals. Yeah. So yeah, I totally forgot about Chelsea because they're way down in the table, to be honest. I'm serious. They're not even
Yeah.
like you'll need to unzoom the table to see Chelsea, which is unfortunate, but it
Mm-hmm.
is what it is. About Man United, you think top four secured?
Yeah, I do. I
It's
think because we
done.
won yesterday, I think that allows us a cushion. If we lose to Brighton on Thursday, I'm not worried because I still feel like, 7 points clear of Liverpool, and the games we've still got 3 home games. We've still got Wolves at home. We can beat them. Fulham at home, last game, we can beat them. Chelsea at home. Yes, I know it's Chelsea, but I think we can beat them.
And
And
you
then,
play
our
West
away,
Ham away.
yeah,
Like
West Ham away, 7 o'clock.
Bournemouth,
That might be a
Bournemouth
bit.
already safe
And Bournemouth,
already.
they're saying Bournemouth are safe. So, Mo, if
Yeah.
we don't get top 4 and we blow this ourselves, I would be absolutely distraught. This is all on us. We should have top 4, and now it's just about staying focused and keeping that momentum for the what's it called? The
The
FA Cup
cup
final.
final.
Yeah.
The
What
cup
do you think?
final. I think you got top four already. I think Liverpool. Watching Liverpool yesterday, they're not great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure they might win all the games, but there are no signs of them winning every game. To be honest, at home yesterday, they were lucky to be honest, the 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so Cass is asking, what did Flick say? Simply, Flick said that Luke Shaw is better than Martinez's left center back.
Yeah. He said he prefers Shaw.
Yeah, but we talked about
Um,
it. We talked about it.
mm,
So let's switch gears now to the
Big up
champions
Castaway.
elect. For me, the reigning champions, Man City. Bro, this team has turned the corner in the last 2 months, and now they are unstoppable. Unstoppable. It
Bro,
is
they're doing their
unbelievable.
thing, man. They're doing their thing. Do you know what? Yesterday, that was a good win for them. Them type of wins where you go 1-0, 1-0 up, you concede, and then it's like 2-1 for the whole of the second half. You have to be quite gritty. But the thing is, City they were strong. Even Fulham scored out of nowhere. I watched the highlights. Fulham scored, obviously, at the game at Man United, so I couldn't watch the City game in full. But, they scored a bit out of nowhere. Grealish could have scored again as well. Gundogan could have scored. Haaland could have scored. It could have been 4-1, and I would have been like, okay, cool. you know what I mean? It's 4-1 and it's job done. But this Man City team, they are coming good when they needed to. And now they've got top spot, should I say, for now. They can smell that title, man. Even if Arsenal win tomorrow and obviously they go back top, by a point or whatever it is, or 2 points. I just feel like this is City in control now because they play West Ham on Wednesday. I believe they beat them, and then they play Leeds at home. I don't think City really lose it from here. Even Raheem says no KDB. I actually was going to put in the title, funny enough, no KDB, no problem. But I just put Julian Alvarez 5 City top. But they didn't even have De Bruyne, and you got Julian Alvarez, stepping up with a beautiful goal, like to win the game. Mahrez, Bernardo, players that can come in. Yeah, man, City are ticking. City are ticking right now. I really think this treble is really on. Mo. It really is.
Here's my thing about Man City, and I'm gonna keep saying this. Man City are doing their thing. Like, they're winning every game. They're blowing teams away. Even yesterday they didn't against Fulham, but they won the game. Away at Fulham is not easy. It's Arsenal who lost the league.
Yeah.
Because Arsenal could have went to the City game and lose 10-0 and still be top, but they didn't. So Arsenal lost the league, okay? And I'm going to keep saying it. If Arsenal lost the league at Newcastle, I'll be okay. But they didn't. Again, Southampton and West Ham is unforgivable. However, this City team is one of the best teams, and it's only 2 months from February. It's one of the best teams I've ever watched in my life.
Is this the best City team we've seen since Pep Guardiola's joined them?
This is the best team I've watched in my life.
Wow, your life.
It's better. Okay, but however,
okay.
So let me just continue the sentence.
Before that, so is this better than Is this better than the Barcelona team that won 7 trophies in a year?
Yeah. Okay, but it's only 2 months. But yes, if they keep this form for this year and next year, okay. Remember that Barcelona team of 2009 was good, but I actually think that the David Villa team of 2012 were Iniesta completely mature to
when they beat us in the Champions League final.
Oh my God, that David Villa team, Pedro, oh my God, that team was absolutely immense. I know that people like the Thierry Henry team. I know that they like the Eto'o team. However, that team, I cannot get my head around the game against Chelsea. All of this talk would not have been there if they didn't beat Chelsea with the Iniesta goal, because this game should have been Chelsea should have won that game. If you remember that.
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah. Of course.
It's that because that was that game.
How
was
could you say this is the best team? I'm not saying.
So let me. You didn't let me finish the sentence. Yet. Exactly. You didn't let me finish. I'm talking on the eyes. For the last 2 months, I've never seen a team that they don't have to be dominant. They don't have to have the ball. Like when they played against Bayern Munich, they didn't have to have the ball, but they still won. They blew Bayern Munich away. The thing about this team that people don't want to admit is that Pep Guardiola cracked the code of football. He's like, if you want to have the ball, I can attack you counterattacks. If you want to give me the ball, I will know where to attack you. For me, this is the best team, but it's only been 2 months. People don't want to understand that. It's only 2 months. But the signs are there, Ty. The Julian Alvarez coming to the team. I know that you're a Man United fan. You'll hate to admit this.
No. I'm a football fan. If I thought Man City were the best team I've ever seen, I'll be like, Mo, do you know what? I agree. I just think the Barca.
It's 2 months. It's early to say. To say. But they won so many games now that I'm starting to think about it. I'm starting to think about this City team. If they win the treble this year, which is, I hope they won't, because I want my team to win the Champions League, and I don't like the monopoly in the game. But if imagine, Ty, if they win the treble and they keep this form into next year, what happens?
Yeah, then that's when we have a conversation.
That's what I said. I'm saying on the eye now. Every time. You know what?
If they win the treble this year, and the next year they're in this position again, and they do it over a 2-year period, then, like, do you know what I mean? It has to be considered. I know some people might say,
but my point is, and let me ask you this: are the signs there for this team to be the best team that we've seen? Are the signs there? Are you watching this team and thinking, "Oh my God, how can I stop this team?"
Okay, so just to be clear, because that Barcelona team was like dominant, like they were for 2 years. I feel like they were dominant, right? So not to try and challenge you back, but it's not about just pleasing me on the eye. Of course, with football, you have to have the trophies to back it up. So if they continue to play the football they have, strengthen in the summer, and then play this football again, and also then dominate again, there's no reason why people can't contest it because the defense is great, the midfield is very good, and they've got a striker that we're witnessing making history. Do you know what I mean? So it's a very good team, but I just want to wait to see if that consistency carries on into next season. And like you said, the sample size is small. 4 months ago, you were saying on streams with me, Mo, this City team are not quite clicking it, or you think they might fall short here. So then to say in May now, this is the best team you've ever watched. I don't want you to shoot yourself in the foot by getting overexcited. They're
No,
very
but
good. They're very good, but let's see what they can
yeah,
go
which
on
is
and do
that's
next
my
season.
point. They need to continue this form and
Yeah.
win because listen, I've
I
seen a
want to
lot
see
of
what
teams.
quality they had in the summer because they might lose Bernardo, they might lose
Maybe.
Gundogan. They're actually two big characters. People might not think it. Obviously, I know they're not like the best players in the world, but when they're part of a dressing room, Bernardo Silva, you know what he does for that football team. If you're a Man City fan, you love Bernardo, and when you're a Man City fan, also you understand the level of control, maturity that Gundogan brings. So in terms of personalities in that squad, Mo, they could lose two big personalities. So they need to make sure they try and replace them correctly because, for a Man City team with Pep, he likes having them sort of players that he can rely on. And Gundogan and Bernardo are two of them players he can rely on. So it will be interesting. But definitely the framework's there, man.
Exactly. That's my point. People are saying that, oh, you're getting ahead of yourself. I'm saying the signs are there. And on the eye, I can judge a team over 2 months. They play 20 games, bro.
Mm,
I think they have 18 games now. They only drew one game. One
yeah.
game or something. So I'm like, who am I to say it? And this team has blown away by me. Like, oh my god, this team is so good. To be
Mm-hmm.
honest, it's so good that I'm. But however, I still don't want them to win everything because I hated that Barcelona
If
team
the
that won
team's that good,
everything.
though, as you're saying, then everything's pointing to the right direction. They win the Champions League, right?
Mm, okay, they are the favorites. 100%. What are you saying? You saying Real Madrid have a chance?
No,
Everybody
I, I
has a
think I think I
chance.
think I think everyone has a chance, but this is the Man City team that I think wins the treble. I think obviously in a one-off FA Cup final, I'm never going to rule us out 100%. I'll be stupid to rule us out in a one-off game in a final.
I'm
But
rooting for you, bro.
yeah, no, thank you. I hope so.
Unless Real Madrid win against them.
Mm,
If Real
mm,
Madrid they win against by Man City, I'm rooting for Man City. Why I'm
okay,
flipping?
got you.
Why I'm flipping?
Okay, so basically, no matter what, you just don't want to see them win the treble, whichever way it
Yes,
is.
that's it.
Okay,
Like
yeah,
last season, I didn't want Liverpool to win the quad.
yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with
I
you. But
don't
yeah,
like dominance in football, and
yeah,
I'm always about this. I
yeah,
like football to have different winners, so more exciting. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
But
I'm with
that's
you.
the
I'm with
point.
you.
That's the point.
I
Uh,
think this is now Arsenal's time. Arsenal's time to obviously try and respond, but I think Man City will just go on now and win the league. But yeah, guys, make sure you keep liking the video. Make sure you subscribe. And there's 150 of you here, so please make sure you're doing that on your bank holidays as well. I know it's a bank holiday, so people are out doing their thing and stuff as well. So obviously, people love their holidays here. There's another one next Monday as well for the King's coronation. So yeah, guys, keep liking the video.
oh my
But
God, you're lucky people. People keep getting like holidays in
yeah, I know,
UK.
I
We
know, I
don't have
know.
holidays, bro.
We've got one now, and then we've got another one I think at the end of May. So it's all good, man. But Mo, one player I do want to talk to you about, right, is that team Newcastle, Callum Wilson. Everything he touches right now, when a striker says, you watch strikers in interviews, and they always say when you're like Andy Cole, for example, he always used to say, or Jermaine Defoe, like when you're scoring goals, you just feel like everything's just gonna fall for you. Like everything is falling for Callum Wilson right now. The right finishes, ricochets in the box are popping up to him. You know, the way Eddie Howe's even managing him, bringing on his minutes, starting him in the right games, and you know what I mean. It's just Callum Wilson right now and Alexander Isaac. It's so good for Eddie Howe to have two strikers that he knows are scoring goals that he can rely on at the moment because he's playing them together. Then 1 minute it's Wilson starting, then it's Isaac starting. Yesterday, Isaac started halftime. He brings on Wilson and pairs them up together. They score 3 goals in the second half. I can't lie, man. Like when you talk about partnerships and strikers, they've probably got the best strikers in form in the league in terms of a pair.
He had a really period that he struggled, Callum Wilson, big
Yeah, he
time.
did.
I
He
think
did.
after the World Cup, all the way until he started scoring lately. Listen, Newcastle for me, Eddie Howe as well is finding the right balance. Without Almiron starting, it's Jacob Murphy, who I don't think is going forward is someone who can be in the future of them. But I think Alexander Isaac, I thought he's
Overall game.
overpriced. He's overpriced.
Oh, priced. Oh, did you? Okay.
Yes, because 70 million is a lot.
Mm.
And again, we're gonna say that 70 million for someone like this, or 65 million, you're expecting more than this. However,
Mm-hmm.
you're getting the flower now from Alexander Isaac. You know what I mean? Every
Mm-hmm.
time he touches the ball, there's something dangerous happen. I think Alexander Isaac needs a partner, and that's what's happening now. When Callum Wilson is scoring, Alexander Isaac doesn't have to worry about scoring every game. He can
Yeah.
dribble, square it, cross, pass it, and Callum Wilson is putting the ball in the back of the net. Callum Wilson, I liked him before as a number 9. I thought he had a really good in the last season.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And Callum Wilson again, I don't think he's the guy that will win you the league. I don't think so. I think they need a
Mm.
better striker. Not the Oli Watkins, not the Callum Wilson, not the Mikel Antonio. You'll need another striker that will score goals regularly, which is supposed to be Alexander Isaac. However, looking at Alexander Isaac now playing that left side, I'm like, this guy is an absolute gem coming from the sides and dribbling
Yeah. He could
inside.
dribble so well.
Exactly. And he can square it with both feet. He is so good in building the play and getting the forward, the ball to score. And I think he's so good, but they need another striker. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Newcastle are going to be in the Champions League next year. They need to invest heavily again to get midfielders, to get wingers, to get strikers. And it's all about financial fair play with them. However, it is apparent that this team is run really well.
Yeah.
So to have Callum Wilson scoring now is a great sign, as you said. To have Alexander Isaac scoring and creating goals is absolutely fantastic. And I think both together can create a force that can actually work well in the Champions League or in the league next year. And I like both of them. I like watching Newcastle. I had them on with Man
Mm-hmm.
United and Man City, and they were the most entertaining team. Believe
Yeah,
it or
yeah,
not,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I
they
think
were.
it's also, do you know what also as well? I think like despite Newcastle having such a good season, and we know about players like Isaac and Wilson, they can score goals and stuff like that. Yesterday, it was just refreshing to see them actually be 1-0 down at home because they don't normally concede a lot of goals and go behind at home. They went behind at home this year against obviously Southampton, or yesterday, should I say this year? Yesterday, you know, at halftime, Eddie Howe made the changes to bring on Wilson. So he didn't wait around to like the 60th or 70th minute like a lot of managers do. He was like, right, I'm going to be proactive. I'm going to throw on Wilson at halftime and he's going to go up with Isaac and we're going to try and change this game. And Newcastle did that. And the fact that they've now got that belief in them that even when they're 1-0 down now, they can actually turn around games. Because look, if Man United were 1-0 down to Southampton at half-time, I'm not thinking the way we are and the way we play in the second half of games, we're going to turn it around and win 3-1. I would never confidently say that. But I felt like these Newcastle fans, I don't feel like they were worried at half-time being 1-0 down. I feel like they've got a belief now that, you know, this team can turn it around, and that result yesterday just adds more confidence to their fire or more fuel to their fire because now they're winning games by going behind at 1-0 at half time. Do you know what I mean? Normally, Mo, look at last week, 4-0 up against Tottenham, game's done. Like it's just whether they just do a Liverpool yesterday and nearly blow it. They didn't do that, but now Newcastle can actually come back from behind as well. That's another positive sign of their character, man.
Yeah. Listen, I'm rooting for Newcastle, my Saudi neighbors. I'm rooting for them.
They're going to be so fun to watch. You know what? If I was like you and I was just like, you don't really support an English team, of course, you're just a football fan. So if I was you, right, and you
I'm
was
too old
over
to
in the
start
UK,
supporting a team.
say again?
I'm too old to start supporting
Yeah, yeah,
one
yeah. I
team.
think deep down there's a team that gives him a soft spot. He hasn't told me yet, but I think there's a team that will have a soft spot. It will come out one
Oh,
day, guys.
so every season I have a team. I have a soft spot for a
Oh, so
reason.
you don't actually have a soft spot for a team permanently. It's just it
No,
changes.
never. So this is how, because a lot of people ask me why you don't support the team. So this is how it goes. Every team I see the underdogs, and because I always like an underdog story, like
Mm,
Leicester, okay, in
mm.
2000, Chelsea in that season after because of Italian coach Antonio Conte. I
Conte.
like Italian coaches. Um, Liverpool last year, because they were have Salah. Of course, I have a soft spot for Salah. He's Egyptian. I'm Egyptian, right?
Mm.
But because of the headache they caused me with the freaking quad talk, I'm like, I want you to lose every game now. So please get out of my head.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, for example, I feel for Man City fans because a lot of people talk about Man City. They're not a big club. Oh my God! Every time they win, people say, "Oh, they are not a big club." So, man, I'm like, so shut
Who
up
cares
now.
about it? If I was a fan, why don't I
Yeah.
wouldn't care about the big
So
club or not? I just
shut
want to win.
up and watch them win. I
Yeah.
don't want them to dominate, right? Because as I said before, but shut up and watch them win and
Yeah. Yeah.
enjoy
Yeah.
the football they play. Stop being
100%.
a bitter fan and watch them win. And
100%. I
and
don't care
wish
about
your
the
team
biggest
is
club.
as good as City.
Yeah. No, 100%. I'm with you. I agree with you. You just want your team to win. Your team could be in League Two, but if they win all the time, you're happy. But I think, Mo, you're one of them guys, right? Because you don't support an English team, for example. Like, I wouldn't go to the Champions League and go to St James's Park to watch Newcastle because obviously I'd rather watch Man United play in the Champions League and obviously costumes and stuff like that. But if you're ever over in the UK and Newcastle in the Champions League, going to St James's Park for a Champions League night would be insane, bro.
So there
Honestly.
are three grounds that I wanted to go to, which is Old Trafford,
Yeah.
Crystal Palace, Selhurst Park, and
Yeah.
St James Park. I went to Crystal Palace. When
Okay.
I saw Crystal Palace in the
Yeah.
stadium. I went to the Etihad. I went to the Goodison Park. I went to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I haven't been to Old Trafford. I didn't go, even though Cass almost gave me a ticket. But there were
Mm.
no trains at that day.
Oh yeah, the
You
strikes.
remember
Yeah.
there was that? I think there was
Yeah.
one game and there was strike, and then
Yeah.
I had to take 3 trains to get to Manchester. Anyway,
Oh,
so I don't know who I'm gonna support next year, but I can change. Look, I
yeah.
really people think I have a team and I'm hiding it. I really don't have a team.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Let's see what happens with the transfers and stuff. They might
But I'm
sign a
rooting
players
for
that you like.
Newcastle, to be honest. Next year, because guys, Newcastle are the ultimate underdog story. Guys,
I'm
Newcastle
so.
were bottom of the league in
I know.
December last year.
Yeah, it's
Just
crazy.
deep this and put it like let that sink in.
Do you know what? I'm actually so intrigued, yeah, to see how they do next year. Because when you're in the Champions League, a lot of teams can struggle with the depth in the squad, playing Wednesday, Tuesdays, then obviously on the weekends and stuff like that. I'm so intrigued to see if this actually becomes a problem for Newcastle because they haven't got the quality that next year they struggle in the league because they can't handle the Champions League and the Premier League bounce, or they're going to spend the money this summer and get some good players in terms of 4 or 5 squad players. Now they got the Champions League, and then they can compete in terms of not win the Champions League, but they can hold it down. Both.
Is that true?
No, it doesn't smell of anything.
I want to go to Old Trafford because it's a historical ground.
Yeah.
Because guys, I grew up in the 90s and 2000s, and Old Trafford was the fortress. You guys have to. I wanted
when
to go
you're
to
there in the
Highbury.
ground, it's a good ground. Obviously, the toilets are not great because obviously it's just
old and
70,000 people going for
Guys,
a toilet.
I
Do
went
you
to
know
the
what I
San
mean? But
Siro and they give you drinks in paper cups, so it's terrible. San Siro is old as
it's still a
well.
historical stadium. See,
Exactly. So, eh, to be honest, I liked Selhurst
you'd
Park.
love it, Mo, to go there and watch a game. You'd love to go there and watch a game. The toilets are just toilets. You go there and you before the game and you go out. Like that's it. Who
Okay.
cares about that side?
Nothing is better than the Etihad. And I've been to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
What, you think Etihad's better than Tottenham?
100%. So the Tottenham from inside, it's fantastic. Like in terms of like how compact it is, the sound and everything. But I thought the Etihad was more organized, way more organized. Not maybe because it was in London. When I went to the Etihad, they had food trucks outside. So the outside the Etihad, have you been to the Etihad?
No.
Outside the Etihad, there is a lot of food trucks with good food and stuff. You can hang out before the game an hour or two, and it was very good. I enjoyed it. Me and my wife, we really enjoyed it. We had like fried food and stuff and finger food, and it was really good. And we went inside. The Etihad is so organized. We had no trouble finding our gate. People, they took us to like our seats and stuff, and it was so good. And Tottenham Hotspur Stadium was a fantastic stadium, but it was all over the place. There was lots of tourists, and because of that, when we went to the Etihad, it was mostly Manchester City fans. There's not a lot of tourists that go to the Etihad, so people there was no crowd knowing. Oh no, they know their gate, so it was only. It was only us not knowing where the gate is. So it was organized. But anyway, let's move on from the stadium.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Yeah, we've got. Let's look at the game tomorrow, because obviously we spoke about the big games that happened this weekend. But tomorrow, like I said, the football continues tonight. We've got Leicester Everton in a massive game, by the way. I'm definitely going to be watching that, even though it's not a top of the league clash. I love football, so Leicester Everton I'll be watching. Tomorrow we've got Arsenal Chelsea. Then we've got Man City West Ham. And then we've got Brighton United. But tomorrow is Arsenal Chelsea. Chelsea are in free fall at the moment. The Frank Lampard hypeness died down just after one day because they've lost every single game since he's been in charge. Whereas Arsenal, the wheels on the bus are not going round and round because now Man City are top. So both teams need a win. It's a London derby. What happens, Mo? Where do we see this? Because I look at this and I think, will Arteta make changes from the game against City last week where, they played Jesus, but he got subbed off, and then who comes on it is Trossard, who comes on and gets the assist, and he looked a bit bright. Does Martinelli come out? Does he make any changes in terms of that attack? Or with Chelsea, Reece James is potentially out for quite a while. What did they do? Because Lampard's selection of Kante in the front three with Gallagher, I'm sorry, but Chelsea, you could do much better than that. Did they get Felix back in? Did they go with the flair and stuff? Big up, Igal. Hope you're well, bro. Do they get the Felixes back in? Did they go with a bit more flair and say, do you know what? While Arsenal are struggling a little bit with form, we've got nothing to lose. If I was Lampard, I'm going there and saying, we've got nothing to lose. Go out there. Give the fans a team they want to see. Go out there and try and win. Stop playing this crap football that you've lost 5 games in a row trying to play your stupid lineups anyway. Where do you see this going tomorrow, Mo?
Well, I see Arsenal winning the game. The Chelsea aren't great. However, maybe Chelsea will turn up, but I don't see it happening in this game. I don't see Chelsea winning a game. I see Arsenal winning the game, going back to the top again. And I see Arsenal winning all the games other than Newcastle, to be honest. I think Chelsea are going to try, but I think Arsenal at home, I think they're going to win this game. It's not going to be another Southampton.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be an easy game. It is supposed to be an easy game. Frank Lampard is going to try to change things.
Yeah.
Which is, it's
he needs
scary
to,
for Arsenal.
He has no choice.
It is scary for Arsenal. You know why? Because Arteta cannot sit there and put a plan based on what he's expecting from Chelsea. Because who can predict the lineup for Chelsea? You don't know who's going to start. You don't know how they're going to play. You don't know if they're going to start with a forward or not. It's going to be an exciting game. It's supposed to have goals in it. I think there's going to be goals in it, at least from Arsenal. But I think Arsenal will dominate this game. They'll put Chelsea. They're going to try to pin Chelsea back. I like to say that. They're going to pin them back. Chelsea on the counter. They can counter, but they cannot score, which is going to be the thing.
They've had so many shots. I think they've had a ridiculous amount of shots this season, but they just can't. They can't.
Actually, they don't. This is a mess.
No, they've had a lot of shots. I think they've had like 20. Even against Brentford, apparently they had 27.
Yeah, I see, but they don't create big chances.
No, true. It might be frustration and more shooting. For
like, to be honest, the XG Chelsea, I can look it up, but I can remember I looked about a month ago and they were 13th in terms of creating chances in the league.
Yeah, true.
Are you looking it up? It's for me.
I was just redirecting to a gal. Sorry, no, just
okay.
No
worries.
Yeah, so carry on, Mo.
But that's it. I think Chelsea are in a big trouble.
They're not in big trouble next year, though. This is the thing. This is why I'm going to say it now, so no one can clip me. With Poch next year, and Nkunku going there, Malo Gusto at right back, a couple of signings, including a striker, which has to be a priority. Chelsea are going to be so different to what they've been this year. And this is why I'm like, I never kick Chelsea while they're down at the moment. I'm not trying to be over. I'm not going to exaggerate their situation. They've been poor this season. Their players are done with it. But with the players they've got, Mo, and you're European football as well, and we know, the players they have got, they will be better next year. I'm not saying that they're going to win the league or nothing, but trust me, they're not going to be in that position where they're not going to be fighting for Champions League. They're going to be there with Poch, who have a full summer. Missing out on Europe, like you said, for Tottenham could be a blessing. And I think that could be a blessing for Chelsea as well, man. It's going to be interesting. Is there any part of you that thinks Chelsea can do the upset tomorrow? Like, based on the players they've got, right, so say me and you, right, let me word it this way, right? Forget Lampard. Me and you, Mo, are managing Chelsea tomorrow. So we put out the team we want. Do you think with the way Arsenal playing at the moment and the confidence, we could put a Chelsea team out there that could get a result tomorrow, looking at the quality they've got?
Yes.
So do I.
100%.
So do I.
I'm looking at the names. I'm looking at Enzo. I'm looking at Kovacic. I'm looking at Kante. I'm looking at Sterling, Havertz. No, forget Havertz. Modric. I'm looking at Fofana,
Yeah.
Padishili, Thiago Silva, Koulibaly. Come on,
Yeah.
people. There have to. It's a good
Exactly.
team. Come on. It's not a
Yeah,
bad team at
man.
all.
100%. 100%. It's going to be
Koulibaly is injured. Reece James is injured. Mason Mount is injured. Kukurea is injured. Kai Havertz is injured. He's doubtful. But again, they have enough people to put
Yeah.
out there
Yeah,
to
you do.
actually create an upset, make an upset.
Yeah. First goal, it's going to be interesting actually, because I think Chelsea will go out there and Lampard will definitely want to beat them. If there's anything he can do to try and, have a little tick on his record before he goes away, it's saying, do you know what? Well, at least we beat the best version of Arsenal. Yeah.
People are asking why Havertz, forget Havertz, because I think Havertz, it's not about the player is not bad. The problem is they're using him wrong. I reckon if Havertz had a striker ahead of him and he plays as a behind the striker, he would score loads of goals.
Yeah. He's one of them ones that I just think he's a decent player, but he just doesn't have that. He's not a number 9 killer, and I don't know if he's got the ability to be a number 10 of the Premier League number 10, like a James Maddison, where you've got a bit more aggressive. And do you know what I mean?
Use Aubameyang.
Yeah.
Why not? Yes, use Aubameyang. He looked like a proper striker last game for them. He had like 2-3 shots.
Yeah.
He needs game time.
Mm-hmm.
Aubameyang is not bad. He's not bad. Guys, I need 100 likes, please, guys. There's 150 of you still here. We have 1 minute or 2 minutes left. Please hit that like button. It looks like
now.
Do
it now.
Close the live chat if you're on your phone and hit that. It looks like a thumbs up. And please give me 100 likes at least, because I'm waking up today and I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling like I want to watch football. But and I want to add something. I know there is a redirect from here to Igal. Igal, go watch Igal. If you speak Arabic, I have an Arabic show. It's so different than this. It's so completely different than this. It's an Arabic show. I do it in Arabic with a couple of guys, Staffy that we had here on the call. He goes on the terrace. And I do it with Mahmoud. You had Mahmoud here as well, Arsenal fan.
Lovely guy.
It's completely Arabic show. Like we do it for the Middle East. And if you go support us, give us a subscription. It's called Big Khamsa, which is big. If you speak Arabic, Khamsa means 5. It's Big Khamsa. Go support us, please. If you just give us a subscription. And if you like to listen in Arabic, just go do it. We're trying to get 110 likes. Thank you so much, people. Appreciate it, people. Love it. But me and Ty, we did an hour and it was great. Always a great chatting with Ty.
It's always good. Bro, just quickly, big relegation battle. I'm rooting for Leicester tonight. Come on, Leicester.
Let me see who's down there, because
it's crazy. No, Momo. This literally, whoever loses, it could be done. Like,
no, still Forest is there.
Bro, but look at it though. If Leicester, have you seen the run of Leicester and Everton? That's the difference.
So it's Leicester, Everton tonight.
For confidence, you need the win tonight. This is massive tonight. Huge.
Oh my God, yeah. What a game. I wanted in the beginning of the season, not in the beginning, midway season, I wanted Bournemouth, Southampton, and Nottingham Forest to drop. I don't like the football that Bournemouth play, even though I love Billing. Post the link, Mo. I will. I can post the link. Let me post the link. But anyway, but now I want Everton to drop. I really want Everton to drop. I don't know why, but I have this thing for like. It's
Can you
not
imagine their new stadium?
Exactly. The problem with Everton is that they spend so much money, but nothing comes out of it. So
yeah. And I agree with this. Leonard, you're right. Psychologically, whoever loses this is going to feel so deflated. This is like, I'm seeing Leicester fans saying this is their biggest game since like Roma and European and whatever it is and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's going to be crazy. But guys, we're going to put the link in. So, obviously, this is going to redirect to a gal. And then also, obviously, Mo's going to put his channel in there.
This is an Arabic show. Later, it's in like a 20, 30 minutes or something. So, go support us. Give us a subscription. Even if you just give us a subscription in this channel, even if you don't know Arabic, you'll help us. You'll help us. But anyway.
There you go. Make sure you do that, guys. Mo, I'll let you run the outro and obviously get it up and everything. But guys, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe as well. We'll be back tomorrow. Don't forget, obviously, the Arsenal-Chelsea game is tomorrow, so we'll have content, and then obviously Wednesday, Man City game as well. So, yes, guys, make sure you stay locked in, give us a like, and yeah, we'll catch you tomorrow on the other side.
Yeah, 100%. Let's play. Oh, sorry, I did something wrong. But anyway, here we go, and here we go.
Gotta mix these packs and potions, no peas till I put a sim in a burner. I'm on the block like Werner, back road lurker, fully played bro, I'm an earner. I fly past, I'm a head top tamer. The melons are washed like Sammy Khedira, and they should start calling me uncle, because when I speak on these beats, they get murdered. Bam, 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 bam.